authority had some contingency plans. Also Kenya Airports, in collaboration with Kenya Airways and also with the support of Kenya Air Force, managed to get replacement screeners this morning. So as we are talking, we do have now capacity to screen passengers departing. And I can assure you that within the hour, we shall have the first aircraft actually flying out. That's why with me I've got KQ MD, I've got Airports MD as well. But it is very unfortunate because, as you are aware, a few weeks ago, they had also issued a strike notice in collaboration with KOTU Secretary General. I met with them. We discussed, we agreed that they would lift the strike, which they did, because we gave them assurances. Because what they were fearing was that this proposed, and I repeat, proposed merger of Kenya Airports and Kenya Airways, they were fearing that that merger, proposed merger, would result in job losses. And we gave them assurances that that will not happen. We even showed them how the numbers will go up eventually, if the deal does happen. And so this was then completely uncalled for, to call a strike when you've got assurances, when the so-called deal has not happened. It was malice, and because the strike had been declared, these people are no more than a bunch of criminals, the 30 of them. They should also be aware this is a security installation. People go on strike in many areas, but you do not and you cannot interfere with a security installation. And so we shall take very, very serious measures against them for interfering with the integrity of a security installation, led by our Secretary General, Mr. Diema.
All right, apologies for that technical hitch, but right there is Transport Cabinet Secretary CS Macharia just talking to members of the press, updating them on what the government has done to ensure that operations are, underway at the airport, because there's been standstill for more than 4 hours. He says that within the next 1 hour, the first flight will be leaving the JKIA airport, and they say that they've already added more people to actually do the screening of passengers. He also says that the government will take action against union officials of the Kenya Aviation Workers Union who called for the strike, because he says that a few days ago they had a meeting between the union officials and the KOTU officials just to try and avert this strike. He says that fear of the workers union was maybe in terms of job loss should the merger between KQ and KA happen as proposed by KQ. Remember, KQ had proposed to take over the management of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Several passengers stranded, not only local passengers, international passengers stranded not only at JKIA but also in different airports. Let's go back and listen into what the CS is saying.
To what I've just said, that you do not interfere. You do not interfere with the security installation, especially when you have no basis for complaints. When you have a job, nobody has failed to pay your salary. Nobody has given you a threat that your job will be at risk, and yet you go on a strike. You have given assurances that the numbers are going up in terms of employment, and you still go on strike. That is called malice. It is called sabotage. It is called economic sabotage. It is something which cannot be tolerated. It is criminal activity. And that's why you found the security agencies are here. They managed to chase away everybody who was bringing trouble. And I'm happy that things are getting back to normal. And as I said, within the hour, we shall see the first flight take off to London.
And looking at the demonstrations per se, I can't really say there were 30. There were over 100.
What happens is there can be 30, but infiltrated by other criminals. But the people who are employed here, they are not more than 30.
But they managed to
put
the airport on lockdown.
They get, this is a security installation. And so anything which happens here is very sensitive. One person can disrupt the airport. You've seen it before. That's why it will not be allowed again. That's why we shall identify those people who are the core to this problem, and they'll be dealt with accordingly by the employer.
Okay, and do you maybe, what actions will be taken, maybe because the police did use excessive force and there is one passenger who's been seriously injured?
It is not excessive force, because like I said, if you're protecting a security installation like this one, there's nothing like excessive force. This is a high-risk environment. Even for journalists to be brought in here, you can see we've been accredited. We don't bring anybody into this airport. That's why we had to use all the necessary efforts which we had to make sure that we cleared the criminals off this facility.
And a passenger was seriously injured.
Those are details we shall get. It's regrettable, but also is an action caused by these same people. Because if you are striking, you stay at home. You stay at home. You don't come here to disrupt operations. Let those who want to work, do work. And so if you want to disrupt, yes, you are committing a crime. And you'll be dealt with according to the law.
Buenos Dias, the previous strike notice that was that CAO suspended. In the negotiations, there were possible talks between CAO, KAA, and KQ. According to the Secretary General, up to date, none of that has happened. So maybe could it have been the slow action of the two institutions, KAA and KQ, that could have facilitated the strike?
You see, we were gracious enough when we met with those officials. I myself got involved. We spent a lot of time with the Secretary General of KOTU, Brother Francis Atwori, to make sure we explained to these people. And we told them in very clear terms what they were talking about was a futuristic, a proposed transaction, which had not happened, which may not even happen, who knows. And so to sit and say negotiate, what are you negotiating about for something which has not happened, something which is a proposal? Whenever it happens, if say there are job losses, that's when they come to the table and say, the board, the CEO, the chairman of the board, the CS said that there will be no job losses. Now so many of our members have been sent home. That's the time to sit down on the table. But we cannot talk about the future. What if we want to employ more people? Which is what the plan was. Because there will be more activity following that aviation, consolidation of the aviation between Kenya Airports and KQ. Our aviation sector will be much stronger. It will need more people. Jomo Kenyatta will become a true hub. That's when we should be discussing what was the impact. If it was negative, then yes, they can say, oh, we are giving notice to go on strike. If we are employing more people, they should celebrate because more people will be employed. But you cannot start negotiating on something which has not happened. That is total nonsense. And we shall not allow misguided people mislead the people who want to work. There are a lot of people out there looking for jobs. A lot of people. You know, we get requests for people for employment. Many people, many young people, college students. So if they don't want to work, we have actually a long, long list of people wanting to work here. And so they can stay at home. Stay at home, we're happy with that. They'll be paid their dues, full stop. It is not mandatory for them to work here. Let them stay at home, but don't cause any criminal activity on this facility. That will not be tolerated. Stay at home, we shall pay your pensions, we shall employ more people, other people who need the jobs.
And maybe what's the way forward from here?
The way forward is that this strike is illegal, so no strike is in existence as far as we are concerned. We just had a minor disruption, which has caused a bit of a problem at the airport. That problem has been sorted out, and the aircraft will start taking off shortly. I will ask the CEOs of Kenya Airports and KQ when that aircraft is ready, if you can be facilitated to see it taking off very shortly, assuming there are security arrangements for that purpose.
Before you finish, one last question. You talked about action will be taken against the workers who are protesting. What sort of action are you seeing?
Not workers who are protesting, workers who are causing havoc. Some of them not even workers. We also have seen some people who call themselves management, I think 1 or 2 people, in the last strike, agitating and inciting staff. That also will not be tolerated. As I said, you can incite people out there, but not in a security installation. This is almost like a barracks. You cannot go to a barracks and start inciting soldiers in a barracks. It's a security installation. The same thing here. That's why security is so tight. You start with the primary screening yard. You know, screening is done. You are screened everywhere. That cannot be allowed. So, if you commit criminal activity, the response is criminal proceedings. That is what will be done. We have identified who was involved, and so action will follow very shortly through the security agencies and legal enforcement agencies.